Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Unfortunately, I am having problems with my Facebook this morning. So hopefully you will jump over to YouTube. YouTube seems to be working, but Facebook is not. And my cameras are upside down. So it's been a cattywampus morning here in Franklin. Anyway, it's almost 10 o'clock, so we will uh, try to carry on. Hopefully, if you are there, it is 10 o'clock. So let us start. Please try my YouTube channel. If you tried my Facebook channel and you can't find me because there is a problem. And I think it's on Switcher side and not mine. Anyway, okay, let's get started. So this is what we're going to do. It's a cloudy day here in Franklin, but it's hot. It's very hot. Okay, so this is what I posted on my newsletter this week. 2 different cards. This one is so stinking cute, I can't even stand it. It's made with the Help Me Grow bundle. I absolutely love it. I think it's really, really sweet. And then this one is with the Framed Violet suite. Oh my gosh, so, so cute. So I think what I'm first gonna do is, let's start with my Help Me Grow bundle. So let me just move this out of the way and bring all this in, what we're going to need. Good morning, Nancy. Thank you. Yes, I'm having a terrible problem this morning with my my Facebook. So thank you so much for popping in. I hope everybody else gets to jump over here too. But good morning, good morning. Okay, so here we go. This one, now let me get this out of the way so I can bring in everything we need. Now what I first started with, first of all, this is a card that I copied from Sue Moore. Hey Jan, good morning. I'm glad you're popping on. You must be on YouTube too. I'm having a terrible problem with Facebook this morning. I don't know what's going on, but it is. Anyway, you're with me, so great. Thank you very much. All right, so this is a piece of cloud cover. And by the way, this card is a copy from Sue Moore. I absolutely love her. She's a fantastic demonstrator, very, very creative. So I copied it like almost perfectly. All right, so this is cloud cover, the regular 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored and folded and with a nice crisp fold. Then the next thing I did was I took a piece of basic white cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and I took the die from the Trusty Tools set. This is an oldie but a goodie. Whoops, I got to do it upside down because this is all upside down. That's the other thing. My cameras are upside down. I have no idea why. Technology. Anyway, this is the die that I took it from right here. That to make it look like a pegboard in your gardening shop. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some adhesive to this. I am going to use Tombow because of obviously all of these little tiny holes. So I'm going to take my Tombow and I'm just going to do a YouTube. Yep. Thank you, Jan. Yep. I know it's crazy, but you're also good about being flexible with figuring these things out. All right, so here's Tombow, and I'm just going to go on the perimeter. I want to make sure that this gets attached very nicely on the edges, and I'll just do a few little daubs in between here, very gently. You know, I try not to touch the tip of the glue with to the paper because I just want to make sure that I get it so that the lumen here doesn't get clogged up. So anyway, that's that. Whoops, I got an itch. We've had these little tiny gnats coming in the house. What is all that about? It's so hot and humid here today in Franklin. Whew. All right, so now let me get this on. Whoops. Here we go. And actually, I'm going to hold this up. See if I can do this east and west and north and south. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. Perfect. And let me just put this down, and I'm just going to gently tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And if I have a little bit of an ooze that pops out from the perimeter of this white layer, I'm just simply going to take a baby wipe and daub it. There we go. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Now the next thing is, I'm going to set this aside just for a second, and I'm going to bring all of these other little pieces in so you can see them. All right, there's the thanks, the little stake that goes in the ground, and here's the pitchfork, and here's the trowel, and here are the scissors, the shears that you use in the garden. Whoops, here we go, here. And then here are the handles for the pitchfork and for the trowel. So therefore I'm going to attach them. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to take this these strips of adhesive, because these work really, really well since these are long and thin. So I am going to flip these over, and then I'm going to get one of these strips and just put it right here. Make sure that it doesn't, that's good. I don't want it to overhang, and then you've got a little bit of adhesive overhanging. We can't have that, obviously. There's that. And then I'm going to put one on here. These are the handles for the scissors, the garden scissors. These I am going to have to snip off a little bit. So let me get my little scissors here. What did I do with my, where are they? Oh, here they are. Now you might say, okay, that's perfect. And then I can use this one, this little piece for, actually I'm going to put it over there for now. And then I'm going to get another piece right here for this one. This is nice and thin. It's so perfect that it came like this. Now what I did was, I already cut these out, and you might notice that the handles for the scissors are in a designer paper. This is the In Color, the 6x6 2024-2026 In Colors cloud cover. So that's what I did there. And then the other thing that I'm going to do, I think I have a little fly in my eye. How could I have a fly in my eye, for heaven's sakes? All right, wait a minute. Where's my cloud cover? Cloud cover, where'd you go? I had it out here. I have Gorgeous Grape. I don't need that yet. I have that and that. Where did I put it? Let me look. Maybe it's up here somewhere. Did I put it back? How unlike me to put it back when I need it. Cloud cover. Wait. Oh, here it is, right here. I did put it back. All right, so I'm going to take my dauber, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to daub just a little tiny bit on these areas here, just this, just to give it a little bit of extra contrast. There's that, and there's this, just a little bit like that. And then the blades, I'm going to do the same thing with the blades, like this. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pitchfork, like that, because, you know, that's how they look. All right, and oh, I must do the trowel too. Just the trowel as well. Why not? There we go. It was fun cutting these out. I felt like I was playing paper dolls again, which I absolutely love to do. Okay, so there's that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back my base right here. There we go, like this. I'm going to bring it down so you can see. And I have to do it this way. I can't do it the other way because I won't be able to see exactly where I need to place it. But once I get it on, I'll turn it around so you can see. So on the trowel, I'm going to just put regular dimensionals or pieces of dimensionals. My size, I've got plenty of these left, so why not use these? We're resourceful people here. Okay, so this is going to go on first, very easily. Now, you might say, who are you going to give this card to? It's a gardening card. Well, I made a list of people. First of all, if you have a friend who has given you some plants. All right, wait a minute. Let me just place this down like this. This looks good right here. If somebody brought you some plants, like my friend Debbie did, Debbie brought me some beautiful plants, marigolds and zinnias, and guess who ate them? The bunnies. Well, at least I assume it was the bunnies. But anyway, I could send her this card in thanks for her being so gracious to give me those plants. All right, wait a minute. Let me cut this off a little bit. I didn't realize that I had this all the way down to the bottom, and it needs not to be down to the bottom so that I can put it on top of the trowel right here, which already has a piece on like that. So this is going to go on like this. Wait a minute, wrong way. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to put my pitchfork on. Now the pitchfork, I'm going to have to finagle the bagel just a little tiny bit. So I'm going to take one of these little strips. I'm going to place it on this part on the horizontal aspect of the pitchfork. And then I'm going to take the rest of this and I'm going to put it right here. And look at that. I mean, it's exactly perfect. Talk about perfect. Whoops, here's a little piece that just snipped out, poked out, so we have to trim that off too. So this takes a little bit of time to put together, but it's okay. And then I'm going to put, see these little pieces that I've clipped off? I'm just going to use these on the bottom of the pitchfork, like right here. Let me make sure that's going to be okay. You know what? That's not. You know what? I think I'm just going to leave it. You know, another thing that I did, or I should have told you this, I cut two out. I cut one out of the cloud cover and one out of basic white to make sure that I could make sure this has a little bit of stability. Had I just put it on with the cardstock or with the designer paper, it would have been okay, but I think it just gives it a little bit more thickness and stability. So anyway, all right. So now I'm going to put this on like this, just like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to put the handle on top. Here's the handle, and I'll make sure I get this right this time. Yeah, this is the side that I have to clip off a little bit because this is the bottom where it attaches to the pitchfork, and I want to make sure it rests just right on that and is not higher. I want to make sure the whole thing is even. So let's get this on like this. Perfect. How cute is that? Okay, now we're going to do the scissors. Now the scissors are a little bit tricky. So I'm first of all going to get a silver brad. I need to get ready to the physics. Okay, thank you so much, Jan. Good luck in physio. I'm glad you're doing well. All right, thank you. Say hi to Beth. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. My friend, I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that I have so many nice people in my life. All right, so here are the scissor blades. Now there's a hole you can see there and here. So what I'm going to do is take this brad and I'm going to put it through both of them like that. And then I'm going to come to the other side and splay open these metal brackets like this. And then I'm just going to twist it like this. So none of that is showing. None of that metal is showing. Actually, you know what I can do? I can come in and with my snips, I can just trim that off a little tiny bit. Just close your eyes when you snip it because you don't want them to fly in your eyeballs, which has never happened, but which is a good thing. All right, so there's that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one of these strips and I'm going to put one on here, just like that, and trim this off. And then I'm going to put another one on this side. And I'm going to put this one on like this, just like that. I'm really sorry that my Facebook is not working. Oh, I had this all set up last night and voila, it stopped. Anyway, here we go. All right, so this is this. I've got these on the wrong way. This has to come over like this. I can move it. There we go. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to peel these little strips off. And then this gets placed, and then I can put the handles on. And then the handle has one of these cute little pieces on it to hang it on the peg. All right, so I'm going to do it like that, and I'm going to bring this down just a little bit lower than the trowel, like that, and I'm going to stick it down just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring in one of the handles, and I've already got the adhesive on, so this is going to go on just like this, like that. And then this one, now where's my little piece? Look at, here's the little string that is going to attach to the handle of the scissors. But you need to make a little snip right here, a little tiny snip, and then you need to bring it into this little hole, right, like this. Whoops, I didn't make a big enough slip. I've got so many pieces of, there we go, of of adhesive on. There we go, perfect. Just like this. There we go. Well, for goodness sakes, there we go. All right, now I'm going to turn it over on this side, and I'm just going to take my little adhesive, and I'm just going to put a little tiny piece right there. Perfect. Whoops, not on my finger, Barbara. There we go. Just like that. All right, now this is going to get put on. So this comes off here. And now this is going to come in just like this, like that. Whoops, wait a minute, I'll make sure that it gets where it needs to go. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. How cute is this? Now I'm going to take the little thanks, and I'm going to put it right under here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on with adhesive. Wait a minute, let me get my, I definitely need to use this because I don't want to get it anywhere except where it needs to go. Perfect. All right, so there, what I did was I stamped the word thanks and then cut this out in silver and cut this out in white and attach the two of them together. So this is going to come under just like this. I'm going to put it right here, like right here. There we go. Perfect. Press, press, press. Now, of course, we have to add a few little things here. So as far as embellishments, these are old, they're called faux bronze pentagons, but they kind of look like the like push pins. So I'm going to just take 3 of these and place them randomly. I'm going to take one big one, and I'm going to put that big one down here, and then I'm going to take a small one and put the small one like right, I think I'll put the small one right here, and one more up like maybe right here. How cute is that? And then what I'm going to do is, of course, I have to have some Winky. I have to brighten up these little handles. Look at how cute these are. Let's see, this might be a new Winky. Let me see. This is not a new Winky. Yeah, but I still have Winky in here. Let me just move this. There we go. Okay. So as I was saying, so you could give this card to a friend. You could give it to a friend who's come over to help you do some gardening. Or you could actually give it to, if you have a gardener, if you're fortunate enough to have a gardener who comes and does some work for you, you could give it to the gardener as the work is being done in your yard. Or if you have a landscaper, you could give it to the landscaper after they've done a beautiful job in your yard, whatever. Or the other thing I thought of, if you're a member of the garden club in your town or community, you could make thank you cards to the people, the organizations or the nurseries that donate flowers and shrubberies to your community. So there are lots of people who would love to be recipients of this cute, cute, cute card. So let the brain think about all of these people who would love to have some of a creation coming from you. There. How cute is that? Now this Winky needs some alcohol because you know what we can do with Winkies. We can take out the cartridge, we can remove the brush and put some alcohol in the cartridge, shake it up, and you still got a little bit of life left with your Winky. So that's what I'm going to do later on today. All right, but there. All right, now allow me to turn this around so you can see it. There. Isn't that cute? Let me bring this down and over a bit. Whoops, this way. Isn't that cute? I love it. I just love it. Now, I haven't done the inside. I don't know what I'm going to do on the inside yet. But anyway, look at how sweet. I love it. I love it. So we're going to be making those next week. Okay, now let's get on to this one. Now, this one was a card that my friend Missy Shipman demonstrated at the Stampin' Up! We went to a couple of weeks ago in North Kingston, Rhode Island. And I absolutely loved it. And I was so excited when my bundle came. And I said, I'm going to do this for my peeps. So let me show you how we're going to do this, and let me just show you the envelope too. Here's the envelope flap. Isn't that pretty? Look at how pretty that is. Anyway, first of all, I have to tell you that what we're using for this, we are using the Stampin' Up! Basic white note cards and envelopes. They come in a package like this. You get 20 bases and 20 envelopes. So how adorable is this? Very cute. These are perfect for note cards. All right, so the size of this is 7 inches by 3.5 by 5. Wait, hold on, hold please. I should know this right off the top of my head. It's 7 by 5. So what you have to do is score it at the 3.5 inch mark, which I did. All right, so that's done. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, in order to get this image, which is a stamp, on here, I'm going to use my positioner tool. which is wicked, wicked fun. Now, I don't know if you have one yet, but if you don't, you might like to get one because it's a fun tool to have. This is the positioner tool. This is what it looks like. It comes with this big plate. It comes with the base. It comes with 2 great magnets, and you can get grid paper to go on top, which I strongly recommend. That's sold separately, but I like it. So in order for me to do this, I do have to turn it around the other way, but once I get it positioned correctly, I'll show you the correct way so you can see it, only because my camera is messed up. You know how I just told you that. Anyway, moving right along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card and I've already placed the grid paper on it. Now, you'll notice that the positioner has these little pegs. I think you can see here these little pegs, which is perfect. So you can put this on those pegs. It's nice and perfect. It's nice and straight, nice and even. And then you can use those pegs to secure, as a bumper to secure your cardstock, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring it to the 3.5 inch mark because this is midway. 3.5 inches is 3.5 inches here, and here that's a 7 inch horizontal width. So then I'm going to take my magnet, and I'm going to place the magnet there and place the magnet there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp. This is a photopolymer stamp, and what I want to do is I want to place it on my cardstock. Whoops. I messed that up a little bit. Let me move that. There we go. I want to place it on my card front where I want it, so that I can get it nice and even. I just love this because it's perfect positioning. So let me get this, and then let me get my little ruler, and this is kind of my OCD. I just want to make sure that this is going to be the exact amount. So that's 1/4 inch on that side, and that's 1/4 inch on that side. And this right here is 1/2 inch, and this is 1/2 inch. That looks pretty perfect to me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the acrylic plate and what you have to do is you put the acrylic plate on so that these little posts fit nicely on these little posts. Now these little posts jump up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to press it in like that, and I'm just going to rest it on the platform. Right at the moment, it's not touching the stamp, and that's fine. I just want to make sure I've got it where I want it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this down like this, and then I'm going to pull it back up, and guess what? Here is the stamp on the platform. Now, since this came off, not a problem, again, because I have this lovely grid paper, and I'm going to put it at the 3.5 inch mark, that score line at the 3.5 inch mark at the top and the bottom. Make sure it's perfect. I'm going to put my magnets back on. Then I'm going to take my ink, which is Gorgeous Grape. And here's my Gorgeous Grape ink. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to ink it up. Ink it up. Lovely. All right, now the magic happens once again. So I'm going to put it on, put the pegs on the top just like that, and then I'm going to let it rest down just like this perfectly. And now it's still not touching my paper. It's going to touch my paper when I press just like this. And there you have it. Perfect. And then look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Fun. So we'll use that next week. How perfect is that? So we're all done with this. So I'm just going to take this off, take my base off, bring this over, and let that dry for a second. Now, the next thing I did was, this was so wicked exciting. We came out with this shimmery designer series paper. Oops, I just got ink on my fingers. Imagine that, me getting ink on my fingers. Anyway, this is called Shimmery, Shimmery Stripes Specialty Paper. So this is what it looks like. It's 12, these are 12 by 12 sheets, and you can see, I think you can see on camera. I know the lighting's a little bit high, but you can see the glimmer. So there are nice vertical or horizontal stripes, whichever way you orient the paper. But look at how pretty that is. Now you could leave it just exactly as it is. However, I'm going to take Fresh Freesia, my Fresh Freesia dauber, and my ink, and I'm just going to gently apply a little bit of ink to this. Now I'm just going to daub it a little bit, and I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to kind of wipe it like this. I'm not rubbing hard. I don't want to get a glut of ink on here, but I just want to give it a little bit of extra pizzazz. See how that's coming out nice, that is? Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that a pretty, just a pretty added little bit of interest to this card? All right, so I think that's done. Now, if I want, what I can also do is do the edges with my dauber. And that will cause this oval to pop just a little tiny bit once you see what we do. Okay, so there's that done. All right, let me close this up. Now, I've already gone ahead and stamped my, where did I put it? Where did I put it? The flowers. I'm looking for the flowers. What did I do? Where are they? Heavens to Betsy. I had them right here. Where are you, flowers? Goodness sakes. Oh my gosh, what did I do with it? All right, take time out here. Let me find this. Well, this is the silliest thing since sliced white bread. All right, I swear my ghost is just being nasty once again. So, oh, well, nah. It's right here. Oh, Barbara. Okay, so today what I'm going to use is my pencils because I love my pencils. I love to color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm first going to take my old olive pencil. I've gone ahead and sharpened them because I want to make sure that I'm going to get a nice point and I'm not going to color out of the lines. Sometimes I like to color out of the lines, but on this situation, I'm not. I'm going to color the leaves like this and the petal like this, the base of the petal with old olive, and I might add a little bit of granny apple green too. I don't know, we'll see. All right, so there's that done, easy, fast. And then I'm going to take the same old olive and I'm just going to add some color. I'm going to scribble some color here and here and here and here like this. And the same thing with this leaf over here. Because you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my blending brushes. Oh, look at, I got ink on that. Well, you know what? That's going to be something, a little product of nature here. Let me see. This is, I'm going to add some of this green too. This is a little bit of, I think, I don't even know what this green is. This might be shaded spruce. I don't know, but it's not labeled, but that's okay. All right, there's that. All right, that looks good to me. Then the next thing I'm going to do is take my blender brush, which I absolutely love. I love these, and I'm going to add some of this, I think it's glycerin. I think the product inside here is glycerin that makes it all blend together nicely. But I'm just going to blend it like this. And I tend to go in one direction. I try not to go back and forth, especially when you're using something that's wet, like our alcohol markers or the watercolor pencils with the blender pens, because it tends to, in my opinion, it pills the paper, and I don't like that look at all. But I'm liking this look. I think this is look pretty good. So there's this. There we go here. And let me just finish this up here like that. And then I'm just going to add a little bit down to the stem just to blend that out a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Light. I like it. Okay, now I'm going to color the flowers. I am going to use Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape in the center like this. I love violets. I love pansies. I think they're such happy flowers. They have cute little faces, especially pansies. They just have really, really pretty faces. I love them. So there's that. Then I'm going to add, I think this is rich raspberry. So I'm just going to add a little bit of rich raspberry here on the edges like that. And we'll see what's going to happen. Now, every time you use this, you're going to get different colors because you can't really do the same flower exactly the same. Well, maybe you could if you're really, really, really determined to make it look exactly the same. You could probably do that. But I don't care about that. I'm going to make sure that it's just another one of Mother Nature's beautiful flowers. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, look at how pretty. And I know it probably seems like I'm going back and forth, but I'm really not. I'm going in one direction. I tend to lift the brush up a little bit off the paper as I do it. because I've had the experience where I've pressed too hard and I do get pilling, and I don't like that, so then I have to start again. Look at how pretty that is. Ugh. And of course it has to have some winky on top, and it might even have to have some iridescent ice. We'll see. Yeah, I can't help it. I like glitter. Not on everything. There, and then a little bit here. Look at how pretty this is. There we go. I think that's pretty. Okay, now I am going to take some dimensionals, and I am going to put my dimensionals. Let's see. I've got strips here that I can use. I tend to use them all because why not? Why not? All right, there's one there. There's one here. And I'm going to use these little sections for these top flowers. Look at that. Perfect. Fit perfectly right in there. I'm going to cut this one up, and I'm going to put this one on right here. And then this one is going to go right here. Now, you might say I'm doing overkill, but I'm putting this on this porous paper that I want to make sure that it's going to stick. So I am going to make sure that I have plenty of dimensionals to make this pop up very nicely. All right, let's put this one here and one more. One more. Now, if you didn't want to do all this coloring, you could go with a monochromatic theme should you desire. There we go. Perfect. All right, and I'll put this one there. All right, now I'm going to take these off, and we're going to put it on my base. Here we go. This and this. All right. Whoops, one more. All right, and then I put it under the light. Oh, there's one more right here. I always put it under the light to make sure that I get all of those little pieces of paper off, which I did. All right, so now I'm going to bring back my oval. Oh, look at how pretty that's going to be. Isn't that pretty? Oh. All right, so there's that. Press that on. Now I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. And where are my big dimensionals? I had a new package out here. You should see this. It's a mess. Well, people who come to my house know. Oh, what can you do? You know, it's supposed to be messy, right? It's a studio. It's got lots of stuff that's going on. All right, so there's this. Let me take these sections and use these. Again, I want to make sure that this is on the perimeter because I want to make sure it sticks nicely and doesn't fall apart, because we don't have any mistakes in Stampin' Up. We have none at all. We have little persnickety issues once in a blue moon, and we just take care of those persnickety issues, no problem. All right, now I'm going to bring back my card. Here's my card. I need to fold it on the score line and get that nice crisp fold done like this. And before I put this on, I'm going to put this little strip of paper. I made a little strip. Oh, look at that. For goodness sakes. Well, there we go. You know, we'll take care of that. There are no mistakes, remember? None. And let me just take my adhesive and put some adhesive on this strip and put it on the inside like this. Like that. Perfect. And then trim this little section right off. And then I'm going to bring in this and take all these little pieces off. And this is done. Wouldn't these make a nice box set? I often say that. I probably say it every single week, but they would make a nice box set of cards to give to somebody. And my friend Kathy is coming over next week because her mother, I think it was her mother, she said, loved violets. Her mother or her mother-in-law. And so it means a lot to her. So she's going to be making these. Oh no, I see a situation here that we have to correct. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there is a little bit of an overhang. So obviously I did not fold that absolutely correctly, but I'm going to take care of that because I'm just going to put this in and I'm going to trim this off because we want it to look nice. And sometimes you get this little edge at the bottom with this little cutter. So what I do is, hold on, I'm going to take that little piece of dimensional right off. I'm just going to take my snips and trim this off. There we go. Perfect. Now it looks much, 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 much better. Much better. Actually, okay, I think what we need to do is trim this off a tiny little bit more because it's not exactly even. All right, let's trim this off one more time. Just a tiny little smidge. Just a tiny smidge. All right, and then, yeah, that's much, much better. Much better. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why. When I've got my, when I'm using my score blade, sometimes it's like a 1/64 of an inch off. Nancy, you'll take for okie dokie. All right, so there's that. Now, we absolutely have this adorable little note card. I'm not going to put anything on the inside except I will put something to cover this little purple up here, this gorgeous grape. I don't know what, well, I do know what happened. I have the ink on my finger and I got it there. So let me just show you what this stamp set looks like. This is the stamp set right here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to probably take this image. Let me just get this right out right now and just show you how we can take care of this situation without an issue. Because we don't have any mistakes. There are no mistakes. None. And we're almost done. We're going to put one little thing here. Let me just get this block. And actually, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take this, yep, and my PS pad, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to take Gorgeous Grape right here, and I'm going to just stamp part of this. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to stamp this part like this. Look at that. Look at that. See how easy that was? There are no mistakes. Perfect. Perfect. Covered that up very nicely. All right, but we're not done. Almost. One more thing to do. I thought how pretty it would be to use this ribbon that comes with this suite. This is Fresh Freesia. It's a really pretty satin ribbon. It's a 1/4 inch. Is it a 1/4 inch? It is. Is it a 1/4 inch? Yes, a 1/4 inch. And instead of a bow, I'm just going to do a little knot like this. Like that. Perfect. And I'm going to take my ribbon scissors and I'm going to trim this off. And I'm going to trim this off. And then I'm going to take some glue dots, get that out of the way, and I'm going to take my little pick tool, and I'm going to put this on like right about here, and I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to put my little knot right on that, perfectly like that. Now I am going to add 2 more glue dots because I like to have these fronds kind of lay down flat because I just want it to be secured. So there's one, and then I'm going to take another one and I'm just going to put it right here like that, and I'm going to pop that up and put it down just like that very gently. And there we have it. So there's the card, and then of course the envelope has to have some kind of decoration to it. I could actually put more of those, the violets on the outside. I could do that, but I have an envelope flap already cut. So allow me to put this on, and then, whoops, we've run out of adhesive on this. There we go, like this. And I want to make sure that I get this in the right orientation, and I do, and I'm going to put it on like that. And won't this look pretty in somebody's mailbox when they go open up that flap and they see this instead of a bill? They'll say, somebody sent me something really pretty. And don't forget to put your name on the back because you made it. This is not a Hallmark creation. Oh, did I say that? It is you spreading joy and peace and happiness. So there it is. How pretty is, whoops, how pretty is that? I just love it. I think it's just a really, really pretty card. So we will be making these, and we will be making these next week. So I hope that you're interested. I hope you thought those were fun cards this week. They were fun for me. And I thank Sue Moore for her talent, and Missy Shipman for her talent, sharing and letting us copy, because it's beautiful. So that's it, my friends. I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Friday. Fun Friday in Franklin, Massachusetts. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm going for a swim. Then I'm going to a planning committee for our 60th reunion from high school. 60 years from Northbridge High School in Northbridge, Mass. All right. Thank you. I love you all. Namaste.